Great. We are ready to start here
Hello,
at the
hello.
anniversary stage. So, welcome everybody. Thanks a lot for being with us today. I really wasn't sure we were about to use the shader, but after 5 years at Startup Autobahn, like finally there's an expo with sun, and for that, like really glad for that. But like, hope that will not make like our stage experience any uncomfortable for you. So I'm Roberto. I'm part of the ventures team at Startup Autobahn Plug and Play. I've been part of the team for the last 5 years. And I'm here joined by my colleague, Raul Martin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the anniversary stage. I'm Raul Martin, same as Roberto for the Ventures team. And we have also Constantine from the Ventures team here that will be, or will be your host. So luckily, we are going to enjoy today the anniversary stage. A bit more special than last year. We have tried to gather, again, the best startups with the best POCs. And not only will be special because of this, but it's because it's our 10th anniversary. So we are going to give you also some small pills of insight of these 10 years of innovation, because we have seen with you how we can carry projects with the startups and between and corporates, but we have been participating actively in this innovation. So this is what we want to get into you today, and hopefully we have one of the best anniversary states or outdoor states with you today. So what we have next, Roberto, I think that is our physical AI cluster. Let me just go through the slide.
Yep. Let's say that is one of the hottest topic of this year, physical AI, and we may have seen you may have seen like some robotic startups, some robotics like humanoid robots or robotic arm over the entire expo area. This is because our corporate partners are really deep down into like this topic. They are building very cool technology that I invite you to look at. And let's say that physical AI is just like a topic we get to through a process. I remember many years ago we were just maybe starting with AI, try to find some possible use cases for like deploying that in the shop floor, in the manufacturing environment. And we were like seeing the AI used as a copilot, helping running factories, coordinating between different manufacturing lines and computers within the shop floor. But actually, AI evolved today, and we still had robots back in the 5 years ago in the manufacturing lines, of course, but they were like caged. So like they couldn't really sense the environment, they couldn't really understand the surrounding. So physical AI is actually enabling like robots to see, to understand, to learn, and to have all that knowledge that we can use to make them like performing the most dexterous task that we need on the shop floor. And luckily, the first two pilot projects that we are presenting today at the stage are all about that. And they are both run by our corporate partner, DXC. And for that, I would like to invite on stage like the DXC representative, Thomas, like the head of physical AI at DXC. Thank you very much.
Hi, hello very much. Thank you all for the introduction and for the really great, I would say, not only introduction, but also introducing everyone into the topic of the physical AI. And we just had some technical problems with this first slide, but I would like to just let you close the eyes and visualize this slide, what was there. There was the visualizations and realization. So basically, this is the key topic of what I would like to set this anniversary stage that I'm happy to be here and from the partner side kick it off. And the one thing what I wanted to say here from the beginning is the creative destruction. That's, I think, the good as well starting point of our discussion. And I think many of you already know what does it mean, creative destruction. But I can also like explain shortly. So this is when the innovation is not only slowly progressing the current workload within the manufacturers and so on, but replaced it. And this is where we are with the technologies, with the physical AI in particular. And that's why we need to move from the visualization to realization. Many of us are really good from the creation of the digital twins, simulations, dashboards, everything which we are as well presenting here. But the key question, which is simple but not so easy, is how we can move from the visualization to the realization. And for this, you need a couple of ingredients. So let me just a bit decode all of the puzzles here. So of course, I'm from DXC, so we need to as well make a little bit piece of the marketing part here. So, but this is exactly showing where the success to coming really to the realization is coming. It's from the enterprise backbone and for the engineering engine, basically, where we are able to just scale the ideas, but as well release it in the physical world, following the end-to-end physical AI loop, which is following the connection between the people, robots, and any other systems, structuring it, deploying, and improving. So this wouldn't be possible, and this is the key part of the puzzle in the bottom with our partner ecosystem. And as you can see, there is several of them. We selected them specifically, and as well, you will in a second hear Minas and from Acumino and Robin from Centix. So this is the ingredient which giving us this deep intelligence, deep focus on the specific solutions, which with us, by ourselves, we can deploy to the scale and bring to the really big implementations on into the reality. So, a couple of words for this really short intro, what you will see in a second. So, in a second, I will bring here the Acumino, so Minas, about the robotic intelligence, when we are also showing how we are bringing the humans' actions, tracking them, and building the models for the robots based on this knowledge. And with the DXC technology, with the DXC engineering, we are able to move it into the virtual twins and trains, polish the models up to the 99% of the accuracy, and release it for the production. What is really important is the operational intelligence with Robin and Centix, which gives us as well the potential to measure how our deployed models are how they are effective, and as well measure the real shop floors in the real world. So basically everyone can see where are the humans, where they are AMRs and any other robots, so to deploy it as well safety. So with this, we are able to not only mimic or make the virtual factories, but as well learn from the real factories, validate all of the things which we harvested, and as well deploy with the really safe operations. And this is what we will be in the end showing today here. And this is as well the backbone of how to come from the visualization to the realization. Something which is not really shouting and making something really crazy, but it really works and showing in the reality the gains for you, for your customers, and for the biggest companies. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Minas, and we will be talking about our project.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can I have the clicker? Thank you. Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you for coming. So Acumino is a physical AI company. Physical AI is the new sexy term for AI for robotics. And what we do, we focus very much on production, on factories, on reliability, on cost efficiency, on scalability. We don't care about everyday life environments. We don't care about houses. We don't care about offices. We believe that robots, they are very far away from these environments. So we focus on the factory floor. And we deploy what we call AI-powered robot workers. So we design and develop AI models for robotic systems that you can deploy today in your factories in order to address labor gaps and in order to reduce your production costs. So how do we do that? We do that by going to factories, realizing what are the problems, where are the labor gaps, we collect data, and we develop physical AI models, and physical AI will be the largest market ever. It is estimated that it will be $1 trillion market. That's why so much capital goes into physical AI these days. Production people, and if you are production people, you probably know it better than anybody, that they only care about ROI, nothing else. They don't care about what kind of model, they don't care about what kind of robot. Can it do the work or not? And what is the price? And what we have that is different from all the other people, we have the most accurate data of physical robot interactions. So we collect in a very accurate fashion how the robot interacts with the world around it. And that's why, because we are very accurate at the data collection and very, very fast in the way that we collect data, that's why we can achieve scalability, cost efficiency, and reliability. So this is how we collect data. You see that we accommodate the robotic grippers and hands as an extension of the human body. We collect data with the human in the loop, and we have all the software that allows your workers, your human workers, to teach robots on the fly how to do the tasks. So the system of Acumino comes to your factory, you collect data with your workers, we don't have to be there, then you transfer their skills to robots, and the robots take over. And as a company, because we know that you have operations in many, many different countries, in many different locations, we also develop what we call AccuBrain. The AccuBrain deals with a big problem that all the factories have. In factories, you might have 5 people, John, Peter, Joanna, and they have different productivity, different expertise, different skills. With the robots, it's not like that. You have a collective memory. So you collect data from Osaka, Athens, Munich, and the collective brain allows the robot to have a synergistic memory, to have all the skills that have been accumulated from all the different locations. If you want to hear more, if you want to see videos, visit us. We have a booth together with DXC. DXC helps us scale up deployments in factory environments, and we are here to deploy hundreds of systems in actual factory floors. Thank you so much. This is a QR code. If you want to, actually the QR code does not appear, but you can use my email. Thank you so much, and you can see us in the booth that we have with DXC.
Clicker?
Yep, all good. The clicker is there. Yeah.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Robin, and we are building physical AI operating agents. And I will start with the problem. Why is physical AI even matters? Or also my colleague said, why so much money or capital is now investing in this topic? Because normal automation processes are really complicated. You have to search for a lot of integrators, you have to make proposals, you need to see what can I even do, you will integrate all your stakeholders, and then something development will start, requirements will change. So the whole normal automation process is not really cost efficient. So this means that most of the automations, the smaller ones, are not even started because there's no ROI. So in the end, we need to return on investment, and this is where the physical AI part comes into action. We see that we are removing with this technology the middle chain of all this automation. So we are working with a camera-based technology. We know exactly where all objects, all movements, all persons, forklifts, AGVs are there. And then the operator gets the action availability to use this data and to run the operations. So the operator is now really the first guy who can use the physical AI syntax system and run all the automation by himself. He don't need the 6 months development process anymore. He just have the camera input data, working with it, and runs all the automation. So how this is looking like, we have the perception in the first place. We see with our infrastructure cameras what's happening on your shop floor. Where are persons? How fast they are going? Where are your autonomous driving vehicles? Where are your manual working vehicles? And with a world model, we can analyze it in real time. So everything is known now. All your data is lying there, and you just have to use it with the physical components, which are coming next. So you have the tools and the action layer. So we have modules into the gates, into the forklifts, but also the vision is that the customer can use his own output or PLCs in the end and just work with the AI connected to his tools and can run the agents by himself. So this is what comes out. You have a live map, you have a metric studio, so you know what's happening on your shop floor. You can run all your documentation AI, but also the action, for example, the reducing of speeds of forklift or the starting that the AGV pickups will start. So we are democratizing the automation with physical AI. Here are 3 use cases you can imagine. So the use cases are really broad. So here you see that the AGVs are integrated into the system. We have reduction of speed for forklift, but also the label reading of pallets, because the camera is able to see all the pallets in real time. We can zoom out into the labels, connected with the VMS, for example, SAP. So we are running like an operating system into warehouses and into logistics. Yeah, so these are already our customers. So you see that the topic of physical AI is really brought into the market. It's not just logistics, it's not just automotive, it's also food industry. So everywhere where you have production sites, where you have interlogistics, the topic of physical AI is important. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Robin. Thanks to DXC for presenting like 2 amazing pilots with startup Centix and Acomino. Just remember like that the 2 companies have their home booth here at the conference, so we'll have the chance to speak with them anytime. I would like to invite on stage my colleague Konstantin to move to the next topic.
Thank you, Roberto, and hello, everyone. Also from my end. The next topic, where we will also see other POCs from, is production. And over the last 10 years, we have seen not a gradual change in the relevant topic that the partners and Plug and Play has been looking into. 2016, the main topic was still Industry 4.0, so the early stages, right? Connecting IoT, building a good sensor landscape, connecting the data, and creating visibility in some early cases of predictive maintenance. This is the base layer for the next generation that we're seeing now, which is really AI-driven production. So we really see this move towards a more intelligent and integrated production landscape, connecting also the supply chain, and just generally being more flexible from digital twins to truly like fully automated systems. And with that, we're going also into have a look into the next POCs.
Yep. Then we'd like to invite on stage Porsche and Security Robotics. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, security today is under pressure. Our sites are getting more complex. Infrastructure is rising fast. And at the same time, we are facing a fundamental challenge. We simply don't have enough security personnel. Costs are rising, competition for talent is increasing. Yet, at the same time, expectations for security are higher than ever. Security must be available 24/7, reliable, seamless, without compromise. But let's be honest, our traditional approaches are reaching their limits. So the question is, how do we protect critical environments in the future when the old answers no longer work?
And this is where security robotics come in. We are rethinking security, autonomously, scalable, intelligent.
At Porsche, we are working with the autonomous security robot Argus at the development center in Weissach. This robot is not just a mobile camera. It is an AI-driven system that senses its environment, detects movement, and analyzes situations in real time. It patrols autonomously, day and night if needed, and integrates seamlessly into already existing security infrastructure. From thermal cameras to 360-degree panoramic view and live communication, it extends the capabilities of our human teams.
And most important, it's not replace people, it's empowered them.
At Porsche, we moved from vision to reality. Since 2023, autonomic robotic patrols have been tested and approved in a real security environment. So let me give you a concrete example here. At night, the robot Argus patrols at our research and development center in Weissach, and it detects and streams live video directly into control center, as you can see in this video demo here. On the right, you can see it detects persons in restricted zones, and most importantly, it alerts our security staff immediately. So what does it mean in practice? Fewer routine patrols for our security personnel, less manual monitoring, and more focus on critical situations. So ultimately, you have fewer distractions for our security personnel and real relief for our security teams.
But this is only the beginning. At Security Robotics, we are shaping the future of security together with Porsche. The potential goes far beyond a single use case, from perimeter security to monitoring construction sites and to detecting anomalies like overheating vehicles. What matters is the impact. We reduce the pressure on scarce security resources. We detect risks early. And we create a solution that scales across platforms and industries. In other words, we move from reactive security to proactive, intelligent protection. So what does that mean for the future? Security will not be less important. It will be more complex, more digital, and more demanding. And the answer is not either humans or technology. The answer is both. At Security Robotics, we believe strongly in partnerships, combining cutting-edge robotics with real operational knowledge.
Together with Porsche, we made security more scalable, smarter, and ready for challenges ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Security Robotic and Porsche. We're going very fast. Thanks also to the little robot over there. We can now jump to our next pilot. Again, we are still in the production and manufacturing cluster, so still on the same topic, but different. Like now I want to invite on stage our corporate partner Bosch and the startup Heimbo Robotic. Please, an applause.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Yeah, you have probably seen a lot of humanoid robots already, videos of dancing robots, doing kung fu, karate, or even some household activities. But our project is special. And why I would like to discuss this in a second. Because as you can see, we have here 3 partners. We have here SAP, we have here Heimbo Robotics, and I'm from Bosch. And what we did, we have normally the typical situation that you all know, the physical world that is completely disconnected from the ERP world, which means all the ERP workflows, processes, data is not always matching with the reality, with the inventory data, for example. But now, if we have here the bridge with the physical AI layer, we are able to now understand what's really going on, to even do some more data analytics on it. For example, you can really match if the data is correct. You can also do some further process mining activities in the future, just by having a physical AI layer. And how everything works, I would like to hand over to our SAP colleague.
Yes, hello everyone. This slide presents how a proof of concept was implemented in a real warehouse at one of Bosch European plants. It belongs to the pick and place category and demonstrates how a physical item, in this case a KLT container, can be autonomously moved from one storage bin to another. The process starts when an operator requests SAP Joule to check if there are any relevant open warehouse tasks. Once the warehouse task is confirmed, this task is then handed over through the SAP Embodied AI service on SAP BTP to the AIMBO robotics platform.
And on the AIMBO platform, we actually transform a business task into a robotic task. This is done through several layers, which we have built up on our platform. As an ERP system knows, for instance, that an assembly line is running out of certain material and you have to restock it from the warehouse, but the ERP system cannot translate this into specific robot commands. So the robot has to drive, for instance, 500 meters to the warehouse, pick up a certain container, goes back to the assembly line and refills the assembly line. And this is all conducted on our platform. And we also have several, let's say, vertical use cases on our platform available, standardized use cases like voice models, like teleoperation, but also very specific trained warehouse environment use cases, logistic and manufacturing use cases. And we build this together with our own foundation models on which we then train the robots in an autonomous way, end to end, and it gives back several feedback loops into the ERP systems.
So here comes the video. At the very first step, a user asks SAP Joule to check whether there are any open warehouse tasks in the system with the relevant source storage bin. Joule then returns a list of found warehouse tasks. User selects the one that it would like to be confirmed by a robot and check the details of this warehouse task. Then user asks Joule to trigger a robot and perform the warehouse task execution by the robot. Robots come to their source storage bin. It picks up the physical container, in this case a KLT box. And moves it to the destination storage bin, where the task was created initially in SAP S/4HANA system. Then user asks SAP Joule to provide the feedback on the status of the warehouse task. Joule returns the response saying that the warehouse task was successfully confirmed.
So many clients ask me how fast is this going on and how fast are robotics really then deployed here in Europe. And what I can tell you out of our experience, we actually do pilot project already in Europe and POC project pilots are really parallel run in a sandbox case on which we simulate the actual assembly line, for instance, in a specific use case. In China, we have already deployed the humanoid robotics. And this is really going exponentially. And we are currently able to develop and deploy simplified, narrowed down use cases in production. And this will increase with exponential growth in the future. So everyone just welcome to help us to create more POCs, more real data in the manufacturing, and help us to scale. And if you want to know a little bit more about how we actually doing this and executing all this, visit our booth in the convention room. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we can move to another pilot project, another super interesting one. Like, I would like to introduce our next people on stage, Mercedes-Benz and Rambler AI. Please, a big applause.
So this will get extremely boring here. Thomas, the Rambler, you've heard by now 50 times physical AI, robotics, AR, VR, XR. To make it even more boring, we'll tell you what you actually need to make all these systems successful. And that's contextual understanding. So an actual understanding of the physical environment. What I'm demonstrating here specifically is how we at Rambler have built a specific vision agent, an AI agent, which understands the real environment, and brought it together with Mercedes to the exciting world of extended reality. If we go to the next slide, which we are. So effectively, like I said, in most of these production systems, you need high accuracy level vision understanding. And how do we generate that? We start off with what you already have, which is effectively video information. So quite in practice, and you'll see that later in the prototype, you look at your piece of equipment, let's say an engine of a car, and you're repairing the car. While you're doing this, the system is recognizing what you're doing. You're putting your hand on a wrench, you're opening the ECU, you're removing the ECU. This data goes into the very nice Rambler data engine, and you produce a specific data set, which is then used to train a very specific vision language model. And what do you do with the vision language model? On inference, so in runtime, you use it and to control if the task was performed correctly. Now, if we're going to the next slide, we brought this to Mercedes, and more specifically, Mercedes Tech Innovation. You told me to name this specifically. And Mercedes Tech Innovation said, okay, cool, I do understand the environment. Let's put an extended reality layer on top of that, so our service and maintenance technician can actually see what he or she is supposed to do. So we built this prototype, and you see this nice guy over there. He has this geeky headset on. He's standing in front of the engine. And in the background, once again, the AI intelligence is continuously proving and checking that the task is performed. With that, I'm handing over to Fabian, who's actually built the XR part of it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Thomas. I'm Fabian from Mercedes-Benz Tech Innovation. And let's go to the next slide. So what we did work on is a proof of concept. You can imagine that we have a V8 engine in front of us, and we want to repair it. For example, replacing the electronic control unit or replacing spark plugs. And this is a video that has already been starting. But there's no sound, but yeah, never mind. So you can imagine we can ask questions such as, hey, can you help me to repair or replace the ECU? Because this agent is context aware, so it does always know what I'm currently doing, what step I have already completed. It will help me, guiding me through this procedure. Yeah, maybe we can continue playing the video. Yeah, thank you. So there's also a guide function. So for instance, we have, let's say, 5 steps to replace the ECU. So we have to unconnect it, we have to check it out, we have to plug it in, and so on. And I can always ask something like, hey, I don't know what's the next step. Could you please help me out? And because this AI is context aware, it does remember I have completed step 1, I have completed step 2, and I've completed step 3. So it will tell me, okay, your next step is step 4, which is connecting the ECU. And you can see here that we also have a validation function, so which means we can double check whether our maintenance process is complete. So we can ask like, hey, I'm not fully sure whether I've completed it properly. Could you just double check it for me? And it will say, oh yeah, I have realized that you disconnected the ECU before and that you have done step 2 and step 3. So the process has been successfully completed. So very last slide. Yeah, so we at or I personally believe that there's a lot of potential if we integrate context-aware AI in extended reality applications, such as training, such as maintenance, and there's many more further use cases. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention. I think there's one last word for...
Now the typical Werbeblock, as we are also a startup and we need one thing, we need POCs with industrial companies who are super excited to bring this into similar procedures. So please contact us at Rambler.ai, Munich-based company. Thank you so much, guys.
Perfect, thank you very much. So now we have had another POC from Mercedes-Benz, and now the next one is again with Mercedes-Benz, but with Frickley Systems. So we are welcoming Frickley Systems on the stage.
Thank you. Perfect. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Frederick. I'm from Frickley Systems, and we built a tool for you to... Thank you. We built a tool that enables you to take maker speed into automotive prototyping and automotive engineering. You can think of this... Why is this moving automatically? Yeah. So you can think of this as a solution for the issue that usually when you do automotive prototyping and engineering, you lose a lot in licensing fees, a lot of months in bureaucracy until you can start. You need proprietary tools. And we thought, let's change that. Why can I say that? I'm from Frickley Systems. We are a development company for hardware products. So we build, we do electrical engineering, build PCBs, design them, manufacture them. We do the embedded software that runs on those PCBs, and we do the mechanical engineering or the industrial design used in those products. And we do all that, and we used all these capabilities we have in order to build RDEP together with Mercedes-Benz. This tool is basically an automotive-grade Arduino, meaning you can put this in a research car, into a development car, and you can build your demonstrators or proof of concepts with this platform in order to get them running faster. What can you do with this? So this board has 2 CAN buses, 1 LIN bus. You have the compatibility to automotive voltages. It's based on Zephyr RTOS, which is an RTOS or a real-time operating system from the Linux Foundation that's on the path to safety certification. So you can just let this run on there and build your applications on this. And you can actually update the software on those PCBs via the car bus, so via CAN, via LIN. We have UDS compatibility in order for you to speed up your development of your demonstrators, proof of concepts in automotive R&D. This is actually driving in a research platform from Mercedes-Benz at the Arena 2036. So this is built in there, and you can do it too, because it's open source and it's open hardware. So Mercedes decided this is such a cool project, let's just release it in order for everybody to also customize this to your needs, because your needs might be different from the needs of the Mercedes R&D department. So you can go there, scan the link, and it's fully open source, open hardware. And since I said it's like an automotive Arduino, Arduino thought the same, and it was featured at the Arduino Days this year. So there's a broader ecosystem developing around this thing, and we want to bring it to you. So today we launched a crowdfunding campaign for you to get the boards, to get the documentation, and how to get these devices and these PCBs out there in the world. Please scan this, register for this so you can accelerate your R&D development and prototype development in automotive too. Of course, no talk today can be done without mentioning AI. So of course, you can also run TinyMN models on it. If you want to do edge AI developments or demonstrators in your R&D projects, you can do it. So yeah, as I said, we're scaling this bigger. You can pre-order. We launched the crowdfunding campaign today. And if you want to see it, you can find us at our booth, where we have the several different add-ons. You can also have 4 more IOs, higher power, higher power actuators. So come take a look and accelerate your R&D for automotive projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with this, we have finished the production cluster. Now we are moving to enterprise. And as promised in the beginning, we told you, OK, what happened these 10 years with us? And enterprise has changed a lot, as you can imagine. For example, we are talking everywhere about the cars and so on, but automotive companies are more than that. What happened at that time at the offices? So all the systems were very, very disconnected. Like the team working in sales, management, workflow, they all had different software not connected. And they were spending many hours putting all the data into accountability or moving that into different systems. Through the years, we were putting all this data into the cloud, but now in 2026, everything is running with AI. So there are software that are taking the data, they are putting it on the same workplace and having a straight workflow for the different departments. So therefore, you know what is happening in the workplace or with the sales teams. Now also we have seen that, for example, someone working in Germany, an engineer, can work in live with another engineer in Japan. And this is all happening because we are very connected, and this is the path that enterprise has followed. Better connection, better communication, and of course, everything run with AI in our offices, especially for the background workflows. So with this trip for the last 10 years that we have seen and we have helped to make innovation, we are going to welcome the next startups on stage. So if you go to the next slide, we'll see that for this cluster, we have 6 startups that has been working for the last years with our corporates. And in the first case is Motherson with Mercanis. I don't see they are here. We are a bit on rust, but let's see if we can maybe take a break because I don't see the startup. Motherson or Mercanis, are you over here? No? Okay.
So, hello. Sourcings used to be about negotiating always the best price. But that world is gone by today. Today, the winner is whoever can read 100 documents, compare true cost, and finally act faster. My name is Manuel. I'm a procurement director at Madison. And today I'm here with Gina from Mercanis. And we wanted to show you today how AI turns procurement into a sourcing engine. So the pain already starts before the negotiation. A global RFQ creates a flood of supplier documents across countries, languages, and categories. Teams spend days just collecting, renaming, forwarding, and checking all these files. By the time a buyer sees the complete picture, the world can have already moved. And the data is not clean. So we have Excel files, we have PDFs, we have emails, we even have scanned documents. And all of these have a different cost structure. Decisions end up depending on whether someone find the right detail in the right document. And this is the real business problem. The quoted price is not the true cost. In this example, the 1 million offer looks very simple, but hidden work like the bid comparison, the limited comparability, complex cost breakdowns, administrative workload, and limited savings due to short timelines add up another roughly 100K to this value.
So for low margin industries, this is the difference between a good deal and the margin leak. So these were the puzzle pieces we handed over to Mechanis for this topic. And now I will hand over to Gina to show you what we did.
So thank you, Manuel. Hi, I'm Gina, Product Success Manager at Mechanis. And so now you've heard the costs and the pain, and maybe some of you in this room can even relate to this already. So what did we do with all those puzzle pieces? We brought them together and mapped all these manual tasks to its own agent, supporting you from the beginning to the end. Agents that can communicate with each other, collaborate with each other, just like your latest team member. This process, this end-to-end process, is running on Mechanis. No more hours in typing into Excel sheets, no more comparing bit by bit. We created different agents, like the RFQ agent that prepares your request, an agent that maps and reads your cost breakdowns, an agent that can compare all the incoming bids, and an agent that can extract any incoming offer from any format. If it's a PDF, a CBD, any Excel, it can extract it from any format. On top, we have an anomaly detection agent that can detect any anomalies in your supplier's offers. And of course, the negotiation agent. So you set the terms on what you want to negotiate on, and the agent does it for you. I brought a short video for you to show you what we built together with Madison, and this can be used not only with Madison, but across the entire automotive sector. So this is how Mechanis transforms the direct sourcing process. And in our first trials with Madison, we observed around 45 time reduction of the whole sourcing process through these automations. So you have the same team, the same headcount, but 10 times the capacity. This is what happens when procurement stops drowning in documents, and this is exactly what happens when you let your agents do the manual work and you do the rest. Thank you for your attention.
Perfect. Okay, nice. Thank you very much. Again, it's incredible that you have been done this in only 10 weeks, so congratulations. We will continue with our anniversary states. Now is the time of Blockbrain and Everspecer. So welcome to the stage.
Ready? Okay, welcome everybody. We have now 5 minutes to tell you what we did together with Everspecer. Just a few seconds from my side, and then I guess Florian will tell you what we did, how we did it, and how we move on. But first of all, what is Blockbrain? Blockbrain is a company that builds digital knowledge twins and now transforms into a holistic AI agentic enterprise platform. And Everspecer successfully scaled it across the whole company. But now, up to Florian, let's go for it.
Yeah, Everspecer is I would say, traditional tier 1 supplier. So maybe not what you would expect when we talk about startups. But over the last 2 years, we've had quite some success with bringing innovative solutions into the company. Now, I don't want to talk too much about what Blockbrain can do. For me, when we test solutions, we always go by pull. So if people use it, it's good. It's whether you build it or you bring something in. That's the biggest proof. And what I can add here is that we moved out of the pilot stage after 3 months. And we actually have a rule, or what I would call a block brain rule now with the Workers' Council, because typically we do the pilots, we have to get approval from Workers' Council. With block brain, we said we'll do a pilot, we opened the floodgates, and after 3 months we had 500 users. And when I talked to the Workers' Council to see if we can get an extension, the guy from the Workers' Council, what he said was, well, it's 500 people now. If we stop it, we both look stupid. And now the next approval we did, we actually now have to limit the number we let on a pilot project. And that's what I would call the block brain rule. For us, it's more than just a Gen AI platform. What we see is that with a tool like that everybody wants to use, we have a chance to promote digital transformation, to promote all the AI topics that come to the company, because people really want to use AI. When we help them to use it, this opens the door for other discussions, for data science, for automation. So for us, it's also an internal sales tool. And with that being said, I think we were a little bit faster. You can see some, probably it's too far away, but some, what some of our colleagues said after we did a management training on BlockBrain. For us, it works. The tool works, and it's also great to work with people like Simon, like Tony, that come from the industry. That was one of the deciding factors for us. It's not just the tool, it's also having somebody that understands what a company like us needs. So thanks for that. And Simon, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, if you also want to scale within 3 months from 50 to how many have we now? More than 2,000 users?
2,400, I think, yeah.
Feel free to reach out. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you. Just a reminder, there will be, we have all the booths of these POCs in one of the rooms that we have next to the main stage, in case you want to visit them. And now we continue. The next POC we have here is Porsche or project with Rome. So welcome to the stage, Rome.
Yeah, what we did with Porsche, we're a bit of the outliers here. We're an actual HR tech startup, so not an engineering startup. And what we do is we make long-term assignments less chaotic, but more digitalized and organized. We've been around since 2022. My name is Julia, and I'm the founder of Rome. And we not only do long-term assignments, but also business trips and workations. And I don't know how many of you have some kind of understanding of how tricky it is to go abroad for an employee. Is there anybody who already went on an assignment or a business trip? Any HR people? Yeah? Okay, then let's start from the beginning. So let me tell you, if somebody is working abroad, even if it's a business trip or a workation, it's super tricky for the HR people. So you have a lot of admin tasks, you have a lot of organization and understanding who is where and finding all the data. But also, you have a lot of legal risks. So in total, you have around 7 areas of law that are affected when somebody is traveling abroad or staying abroad for a couple of months even. And for long-term assignments, people are staying abroad for a couple of years. So you can imagine it's super complicated and very tricky. And to mitigate all of these risks, you have to fill out a lot of forms. And my Porsche colleagues can definitely tell you about that. So what we did, so what at the end is kind of the status quo right now is you have in total 84 process steps when somebody is going to be living abroad for a couple of years. You have around 18 forms that my colleagues from Porsche kind of filled out manually for everybody traveling abroad or going abroad, but also during the assignment kind of refill the forms again. And then you have around, for one assignment, 76 emails that are sent, not only from Global Mobility Management, but also from the expat. At some point, the expat puts in their names 17 times throughout this process. Like, this is very a small fun fact, but it can tell you about how not digitalized and organized this process is. There's no transparency. Nobody knows actually where we are in the process. And it's just in total a very unorganized process and complicated as well. So what we did is, obviously, we cleared up the process, we built a product around it, we made it digital, so everybody now knows exactly where they are in the process, so Global Mobility Manager and expat. So they know exactly what still needs to be done to go abroad, what has already been done, and what the colleague might continue working on. And this is how it works. So the employee creates a profile, and believe it or not, this is already the very first step. That's amazing in this process, because this is where we have all the master data. And this is not something that normal corporates have at this point. Then the Global Mobility Manager creates a request for the person to go abroad for around, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. And then Rome checks all the legal checks. So we have tax law, social security law, labor law, and so on, and creates all the different documents. And what is new for long-term assignments is it also gives you kind of a template on what needs to be done. Every company is a bit different, so we made a flexible workflow engine so that you can put in your work, your to-do items where they belong in the process. Yes, and then obviously we keep everybody on track. So expat knows exactly where they are at the process, and also during the assignment, global mobility managers know exactly where they are. And are kind of good to go to continue with their assignment or not. Therefore, we created an all-in-one platform. We only talked about long-term assignments now, but as I said, it's also for workations and business trips. Doesn't matter for what reason a person is going abroad or for how long. Thank you. That was Rome.
Thank you very much. So now we continue with our anniversary stage, again on the enterprise cluster. And we want to welcome to DXC and Ashwin to the stage. So welcome, and all the floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much.
No, we don't.
So, all fine. Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Mirko Ross. I'm one of the co-founders of Ashwin. We are located here in Stuttgart with our headquarters. We have an international team, some colleagues in the US, in Boston as well. I'm very happy to be with Ramses here on stage. So just pointing you the problem we are solving today together with DXC. Keep in mind, we are all living in a hyper interconnected world, and we are talking here about the software-defined vehicle. And this means this is full of software, and at the moment we have a boom of new technologies stepping in with AI, who have the ability to hack a software-defined system faster than ever in history. When we are talking here and sitting here, you're sitting here, we are on stage, within every minute we are talking, a new vulnerability will be discovered by an AI system and will be exploited. And when we're giving this talk maybe 5 years ago, we could say, well, patching that problem, that cybersecurity problem, we have 2 days' time.
Absolutely.
Now we have 2 minutes. So keep in mind, there are hundreds of vulnerabilities popping up today, and there are AI systems out there who will exploit these vulnerabilities immediately. So what does this mean? If we would drive with a software-defined vehicle on the street, then it's not only a cybersecurity problem, it's as well a safety problem. And this is really concerning. So at Ashwin, we are specialized on so-called open source threat intelligence. So we are scanning the entire internet to find if there are any hacker group activities out there, are there new vulnerabilities out there, and are there any threats matching towards, for example, a vendor, a car vendor, or a specific computing unit or sensor or whatever electrical part, a software-driven part in a car. We have the ability to do that. We have a big bucket, a lot of AI agents, because we are an AI-first company doing that. And we have agents who help to identify if a certain threat is maybe matching to a certain car. And that's where the magic is coming in our collaboration with DXC. We are doing this for high critical infrastructure, like energy, but as well defense space. And now we are bringing this technology to the automotive space together with DXC. And by that, we have found a threat. Now I will hand over to Ramses, who will tell you what happens as magic on the car.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mirko. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ramses Gallego. I'm Chief Technology Cybersecurity with DXC. Listen, guys, I am thrilled of partnering with Ashwin. The things that we do how we bring the universal question on cybersecurity to the vehicle. The universal question on cybersecurity is who has access to what, period. Who has access to what? And by enriching data, by understanding the threats, by super correlating, I didn't say correlating, I said super correlating information, we are able to detect more and respond faster. That's what everybody wants, right? Detecting more and responding faster. We at DXC, we have decades of experience on protecting and defending mission-critical infrastructures around the world. Well, guess what? The car now is a mission-critical platform, isn't it? Because it has my kids on the back. Because I have family on the car. And I want the car to be connected, yes. To be intelligent, of course. To be safe. To be connected to everything. I mean, a car that breathes security. I want it to be good looking and intelligent. So the things that we do on mission critical is protecting the car. What you have in the slide, and we are demoing at the booth, we have the demo in the booth, is, you know the who, DXC and Ashwin. We will tell you the how. We will tell you the what, which is protection and defense. We are obsessed with protecting and defend the software-defined vehicle. But I'm going to tell you now the why. Why? Because we want to protect and defend. This is what the society needs. Protecting and defending. Understanding the who has access to what. Understanding that. I'm gonna give it back to you to say. But we are thrilled with the things that we are building here. Every car in the world has to be good, reliable, good looking, safe. Safety first in a very digital world. Back to you, Mirko.
Yeah, and that's really an awesome message. And keep in mind, as a vendor of this product, you have to face all this storm which is coming out from the cyberspace. And you have no ability to scale with resources. That's the main point. The attackers can scale on whatever because they're using AI. And that's what we see at the moment. So there's a perfect storm coming to you, to your organization, and you have not the ability to scale endless.
And I would say the following. I mean, what Mirko is right. We will not solve this equation at human speed. We will not. It will scale at machine speed. Why? Because the attackers work at machine speed. The perfect storm that he's talking about. We will solve this at machine speed, using technology, using right processes, triage with an A-first mindset, detection with an A-first mindset, not just talking about cybersecurity, but resiliency. And the first verb that we use with resiliency is anticipating. There are others. There's withstanding, resisting, you know the drill. But anticipating is fundamental. Back to you, Mirko. But I wanted to mention at machine speed.
Which is perfect, because it means the only way how you can solve the problem by threats from machines is to use machines augmented with humans to secure the products and as well your business. And that's what we are showing you. So we're showing you an AI-first platform, which is our platform connecting to DXC. As well, we show us how we are using military-grade intelligence, cyber intelligence, and bringing this to the software-defined vehicle. So come to our booth. We have the details there. We can show it to you how it works. And the good news is you can really start very quick stepping into these technologies, working with them. And to be honest, you need to, because there are not years left for solving that problem. It's only months at the moment.
See you at the booth. Thank you very much, Stuttgart. Thank you very much, Mirko. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this passionate speech. And now, another project with DXC and Context 5. So welcome to the stage. All yours.
Thank you very much. Hi from my side. Great to see you here. Very important topic beforehand. So when we talk about our topic, security, especially OT security, always in mind, because it's the basic for all we do when we talk about our specific topic now across industrial optimization and operations intelligence. I mean, great event here. By the way, I'm Jürgen. I'm from DXC. We'll hand over later to Mark. Great event. Lots of new technology, startups with the latest, greatest on AI. We see the most powerful waivers ever. NVIDIA is simulating complete factories. So robots starting to work in the production environment. And when you ask someone from the plants, a plant manager, so I mean, where are your challenges? What are your issues? And then very often it's kind of let me check in Excel. Let me see. Okay, I need information from this machine. I need information from the other machine. So the information is not available, and this is not because they are not wanting to do this. This is not because they are not knowing about how to do it. The issue is right now, and this is what we see here on that slide on the left side. I mean, it's a historically grown production environment we have in place, or our clients have in place. We have kind of chaotic shop floor communication, different IT systems, and to work in a brownfield environment, that's quite a tough stuff to change things. And coming from a brownfield approach to a greenfield approach, nobody will pay for this, especially not at these times. So the challenges are no transparency, losing grip to latest kind of technologies like AI agents. I also would say in terms of physical AI and robotics, automation, and difficult also to learn across plans. So you can do one thing in one plan, but just find out how to scale it into another plan, or even more how to scale it into 20 and more of plans. And what is the problem then at the end of the day? Untapped cost of goods sold, COGS. So there's a big potential looking at this stuff to get the transparency into your production environment and to be able to make decisions, but also be able to use latest technology within your production OT stack. And how this is happening, happy to hand over to Mark. Great partnership we have in place. We just launched a common product. And Mark will tell you a little bit more about what this is doing, how it is doing, and what the benefits are for your clients.
Thank you so much, Jürgen. Yeah, so we are here today together because we have just launched a joint product called the Factory Fast Track, and that's basically the fast track to manufacturing transformation. And we launched this together because we wanted to combine the speed of innovation of us as a startup, as well as the global delivery engine and the consulting expertise and the decades of working in manufacturing plants and the global reach of DXC. So that's why we decided to do this work together, to transform large enterprises together, to really get the best of both worlds, so that you have the cutting edge innovation and the speed of a startup, but you also have the global reach of a system integrator so that they can do a concurrent deployment across 70 plants, across 4 continents, which, to be honest, for a startup is a bit more difficult than if you have 120,000 people at the ready to support you in deployment. But really, as Jürgen said, it's about transforming the manufacturing of large-scale enterprises. So really about data-driven innovation, about being able to roll out agents and AI at scale. But the very, very beginning of what actually happens is, as Jürgen said, the transparency. So you first need to understand your systems, understand your operations, understand your processes, know where the levers for improvement are, and really identify them, and then you can target them and focus on actually working on the most important topics in your logistics and in your operations. So really the very first thing of what we do is we connect to the existing systems, so to the ERP systems, to the MES systems, to the warehouse management systems, to really understand the operations in terms of manufacturing and logistics at the customer. And this is actually an agent-driven onboarding. So normally how you used to do this, you would send an army of consultants into the plant for 9 months, and they would do a bunch of interviews, and they create a bunch of Excel sheets, and they would then try to map what actually happens, which processes are running, how that's related to the plant, do a full value stream mapping, figure out where do we actually create losses, where do we have work in progress that's stuck, but really doing that basically, bringing together the IT data from the ERP system, bringing together the OT data, taking it into one common context graph, and surfacing that to the DXC consultant so they can identify the areas for improvement and work with the change management teams on site to actually optimize the operations, and then deploy automation, AI, and agents to help turn this into a continuous process. So not just do you have this factory fast track in terms of your transformation of the enterprise, but also you have a running system that enables you later on to continuously optimize your production afterwards.
Maybe one interesting topic, Mark, while Mark is saying this, you do not need that big amount of advisors, consultants any longer running through your plans, doing all this information capturing. And on the one hand side, I mean, this is also a business we did before as DXC, or we are still doing for our clients. Nevertheless, we also understood that new technology gives more speed to our clients. And this is exactly what we see. And when we look at the European industry market and what is happening right there, speed for us is the most important topic. So even though we do not need that much of consultants in that specific area, the solution from Context Fab is amazing in terms of speed and also in accuracy. So it's on the one hand side, as you see, there's something difficult for us as a company, but we see also very much more the opportunity in that topic.
Yeah, I mean, as Jürgen said, it's really not feasible to spend another 5 years doing data integration and trying to figure out how to do a data-driven and AI-driven optimization of your manufacturing. If we wait 5 years to improve manufacturing in Europe, there's not that much left, to be honest. And that's why really it's about speed. So it's about less than 1 year to ROI. And really, when we're looking at the first topics, it's about and when we are looking at the topics, so how we normally engage is, and we're very happy to talk at our booth about this in detail. But it's very similar to what we talked about: understand your operations and optimize from there.
Yeah, so we would be happy, as said, seeing you at the stage at our booth over there. And I really tell you, it's sometimes for me, and I often told it to Mark, it's like a miracle how this is working. In the beginning, I always thought kind of that's not true. This is not possible. I mean, being in manufacturing environments since years, I've thought this is not possible. Luckily, we've seen that this is possible, and it can also be possible for your environment, for your production environment. Happy to say hello at our booth, and you can talk to us whenever you see us, also all over the day. Thank you very much for listening, especially at this high temperature outside here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Perfect on time because we have QPI coming directly from the main stage.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Geeta Ghosh from Mercedes-Benz R&D India, and I have somebody with me.
Hi, I'm Lakshya from QPI AI India, working on quantum computing.
And today we would like to present you what are the possibilities in quantum tech specifically, and why from Mercedes-Benz India we have started exploring potentials there. So, don't know if you know, India is the third largest country for startups. So lots of startups, especially in the deep tech area. We are looking into AI solutions and also combining them with quantum algorithm and inspired algorithm. There's a lot of funding coming from the government as well. And yeah, we are looking into this. Anything you want to add?
Sure. So we are seeing a big policy push in India for adoption of quantum technologies and indigenous development. There is close to 600 million euro fund allocated for development of quantum technologies, and we are a part of those activities where we are also working in domains like quantum computing, quantum sensing, quantum communication, and also quantum materials. Interestingly, all of these areas of quantum technology have applications in the automotive domain, like computing can accelerate the design and discovery of new materials, the design of vehicles. Communication can make more secure cars and more secure vehicles, so vehicle-to-vehicle connectivity or the automotive security stack. Quantum sensing can lead to more precise navigation and better vehicles at large. Now, our idea is that within the push of the National Quantum Mission, we have seen within 2 years huge successes with QPI AI demonstrating a 64-qubit quantum processor, and other startups also coming up with their own technologies in quantum communication domain. Geeta can add more on the quantum initiatives at MBRDI that we are working on together.
Sure, thanks a lot. So while we move on, we look into different spaces from our R&D perspective. That's obviously very product related, but also space optimization is a topic, process optimization, And at the same time, it's also future materials we are looking into. So different spaces, I think interesting for everybody here, because as Mercedes-Benz, we have different verticals focusing also on financial services and so on. So it's really a solution, the quantum-inspired topics, which are across industry.
And I'd like to give more insights into what we are doing here at QPI AI. We are building quantum computers. We are building the software stack that controls and makes these quantum computers accessible, and also the application stack which maps this technology to real application areas like logistics, materials, automotive, aerospace, so on and so forth. So you see all the way from the processors and the control electronics to the domain-specific solutions. To that end, we are scaling up our technology starting with 25 qubits last year, 64 qubits this year, going all the way to 1,000 qubits by 2028. This is our generation 1 roadmap. At the same time, we are also working on new kinds of qubits for fault-tolerant quantum computing, which will usher a new era of applications with logical qubits. And by 2030, we are aiming for 100 logical qubits, which will have massive impact on materials, on cryptography, and on design. We are also commercializing this quantum technology. Till date, we have 3 on-premise deployment of quantum computers. But broadly, our aim is to map the evolution of our technology to the success of the customers that we are working with. So for their long-term technology security and how this roadmap fits into their technology roadmap. So we are working with Mercedes-Benz in particular and have implemented solutions around trunk packing simulations, applying quantum-inspired algorithms that can accelerate the process of car design by a factor of 100x. And so far, we have seen a productivity enhancement of 10x with respect to the entire pipeline, and we are also exploring other use cases. Geeta can elaborate on that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Laksha, for this. So this is one of the use cases we are currently working on, and it has helped us really speed up the whole process, yeah, in terms of development, but also in terms of space optimization, how in the best way we can use the trunk. We are also applying this in other areas, logistics, cargo logistics, supply chain. At the same time, as mentioned, we are looking into other use cases, battery development, and future materials. And I would say quantum is not the solution for everything. Yeah, that's why we are partnering also with startups like QPI AI, because they have a very realistic view on what is quantum material, and it's not quantum computing, as said. Yeah, it's really the inspired algorithm where we are saying, okay, can we create efficiencies there? Does it make sense or not? And with that.
So one of the particular highlights is that one of the computational processes in car design, which used to take 48 hours, now is being done in under 30 minutes because of the intervention and integration of the new technology in close to 1/10 of the compute footprint. So in lesser compute, you're accelerating the process of design while also ensuring that the overall system is ready for further quantum scale-up in future with next generation fault-tolerant quantum computers. So that has been our experience working in the domain of automotive and exploring several use cases and ensuring that the technology is ready for real application areas. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you very much. Let's continue. Thank you. You can, please. Perfect. Let's continue with the program. Now we go for the sustainability startups, but before talking about them and see the amazing projects they have, like we have again the story of these last 10 years. And it's quite crazy because 10 years ago we were not thinking about electrification, or if we were thinking about that, it was only crazy projects. So we were more like, okay, how can we reduce the gas emissions of our cars? How we can be more efficient, but we were not also thinking if we are going to use recycled materials inside of our cars or what's going to happen to the materials at the end of their lives. So we have been going through the years, and by 2021 we saw the enormous wave on electrification that it was hitting the entire planet. So therefore we saw amazing developments on the electrification process. And nowadays, we all know about the electric cars, how care about the materials inside the cars, because now we'll find also here today in some booths how we have been recycled materials to put them on our dashboards, also how we recycle the tires and put that material back. And we are now super conscious about the end of life cycle of the materials. So we want them back in our supply chain in the automotive sector, and this is the big change that we have seen, like in 10 years of sustainability. So now, moving to the startups, we are gonna welcome first to Motherson with Pure Cycle, and then we will continue with Porsche. So welcome to the stage, please. Perfect. Hello.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Wiebe Schipper. I work for Pure Cycle. Pure Cycle is a polypropylene plastics recycling company that produces a high purity product. I'm very pleased, thanks to Motherson, that we have the opportunity here at Plug and Play to present our collaboration. Over to you, Fabian.
Hello everyone. My name is Fabian Wehrle. I'm from the Global Innovation exterior team at Motherson. And today, together with Pure Cycle, we want to show you how we turn consumer waste into high quality automotive products. The challenge is clear. The new end-of-life vehicle direction of the European Union requires a significant content of recycled plastics in vehicles. Until 2032 are 15% of recycled plastics needed, and until 2036, 25% are needed. And that is not enough. A part of these materials must come from the automotive closed loop itself. At the same time, requirements are very high. Painted Class A surfaces needed top quality and must be free of defects on the customer-facing parts, such as bumper fascias. So the key question is how we can bring recycled plastics to automotive-grade quality, and this is exactly where Pure Cycle comes in.
Yeah, so Pure Cycle was invented by the Procter & Gamble company. The Procter & Gamble company needed high-quality recycled polypropylene. The technology we use is called dissolution recycling. We use a solvent to selectively dissolve polypropylene from a matrix of waste. And the process removes all color, odor, additives, other contaminants. And the end product that we make is an ultra-pure, recycled, 100% polypropylene. The process is low energy and therefore a very favorable carbon footprint. It's very close to mechanical recycling, but not exactly the same. And the quality that we produce is very high. The material that we make currently in the United States is used and can be used for food contact applications. And clearly it also meets the standards for high quality automotive applications. There's traditionally, like Fabian said already, there's been a sort of a gap between the use of or the demand for recycled content and the high quality standards. And the Pure Cycle process, the dissolution recycling process, was invented exactly to bridge that gap. So how did we collaborate in the showcase that we have here? We took polypropylene from household waste. I show here the gelbe zakken, which is familiar for many of you in Germany, but we actually did this in the United States. So polypropylene from household waste in the United States. We brought this to our Denver sorting facility, Denver, Pennsylvania. There we selectively take out polypropylene. The polypropylene is shredded, washed, and think about shampoo bottles and food packaging and that kind of waste, so post-consumer recycled. It's then washed and cleaned and sent to our first recycling facility in Ohio. We can recycle 50,000 tons per year of polypropylene in Ohio, which makes it a small polypropylene plant, but a very large recycling plant. And the end product is the granulate, the plastic pellet that you see here. Very clean, no smell, no odor, no color. And that is then handed off to the Motherson colleagues in the United States that ultimately turned it into a bumper, and Fabian will talk about it in a minute. Just one more slide on what dissolution recycling is. Essentially, we have a molecular washing machine. So on the left-hand side, you put in polypropylene waste, and it can be textile waste, it can be car waste, it can be PCR. And by adding the solvent, we establish this deep decontamination that removes everything that is not polypropylene. This is a series of physical steps, so there's no chemistry, there are no chemical reactions, we're not breaking the polypropylene, we're cleaning it at molecular level. And the end product is what you see on the right-hand side, pure polypropylene. The solvent is used again and again in the process. Over to you.
Together at Madison, we produced a bumper prototype. In this project, we successfully integrated 30% of recycled polypropylene from PureCycle. In these trials, we demonstrated that the material has a really good processability. In addition, we pre-validated the material through mechanical testing. Further, we made a constant condensation climate test over a longer period to check the surface quality. And because of the promising results of all tests, there is definitely potential to use this material in serious applications. Based on this, the next step could be a bumper-to-bumper recycling, because by 2036, 5% of all plastics used in the vehicles must come from the automotive sector, which means from end-of-life vehicles. And our goal is to increase the recycled content. And Wiebe is now going to explain how to scale it up.
Yeah, so next steps for PureCycle are, I would say, twofold. One is to scale the availability of this solution. Like I said, we have the first plant in the United States, 50,000 tons per year. We are right now developing and building a 60,000 tons per year plant in Thailand, also based on polypropylene waste. And that will start up around 27, 28. And then nearer to where we are today, in Antwerp, we will build a sister plant, also 60,000 tons per year, for startup in 28, 29. So that is scaling the solution, increasing the availability for our global customers. And then on the product development side, we continue to develop new grades, new compounds with partners such as Madison to increase, I would say, the recycled content, but also to increase the possible applications. So in this case, it was a bumper, but we also have grades that can be used for interior car parts because of the low smell and the light color. So that's the development. Please follow us, continue to come visit us at the booth where we can actually showcase the bumper and tell you more about the collaboration. Thanks again, Madison and Plug and Play.
Thank you very much. All right, so now is the time for Porsche to let us know how they have been doing with Silip and Iron Rod with their project. So welcome to the stage to Silip, Iron Rod, and Porsche, please.
Porsche has always strived to get the most out of everything.
19 victories at Le Mans. For Porsche becomes Formula E World Champion.
On the racetrack, from components and materials, and from every idea. Ferry Porsche recognized we should not use the limited resources we have on this planet in such a way that they are thrown away after use.
Every Porsche contains valuable materials, especially in its batteries. Whether fully electric or hybrid, when these have reached the end of life, a new story begins.
Okay, so as you have just seen,
we made a great little movie concerning our circular economy strategy, but also the foundation of the circular economy principles, because they're actually deeply rooted into our company history, as you just seen, as Ferry Porsche already stated this. And we, of course, want to involve the idea of circular economy also in our sustainability strategy. And as mentioned here, we have a clear vision how sustainability should look like for Porsche. Because, of course, our vehicles, they are valuable, they have valuable resources in them, and we want to use those vehicles as long as possible to really enable our customers to have the pleasure of driving every day along. But if our vehicle or also our components reach the end of life, we want, of course, to make sure that those resources are recycled and we can use them also for a new product. That's our vision. To comply with this vision, we started a pilot project together with Scilab and also Ironrod, which I will talk a little bit more in detail in the next minutes. And I would like to share with you some of the major results we achieved in this project. Because we can proudly present today that we produced the first recycled battery, so the first automotive recycled battery with 100% recycling content in that, within this pilot project. And actually, I brought with me something, because I have this battery cell with me today. So that is one of the first battery cells, automotive battery cells, with 100% recycled lithium, nickel, mangan, cobalt within it. And we are currently in a testing phase to make sure that this product, this content, fits the same quality and also performance criteria we have for our normal products. But to produce this battery was a major step to work together with Scilab and also with different partners to make this major step happen. So, as mentioned, we are currently not finished with the pilot project, but we have one major milestone achieved. But I would also like to give you some more detail how we did it and what was the process within this project. So, we started with the feedstock, because this battery and the recycled contents of those batteries are 100% sourced from Porsche. So we took end-of-life Porsche batteries from our Porsche centers, and we also took battery cell scrap, recycled those materials, and then produced a new battery out of it. So we have not only 100% recycling content for the battery active material, we also have 100% feedstock. Then with our partners, like Scilab, we did the dismantling and also the recycling, and we produced the material to put those into the battery feedstock. At the moment, we are doing the cell tests, so we produce A/B test samples. We are currently testing those to make sure that our battery fits the same quality and performance standards as a battery with primary material. Then I would like to hand over to Scilab, as mentioned a lot of you that, to get a little bit into detail about the process and also what it took to make this battery cell happen. Up to you, Niels.
Yes, thank you so much, Jonathan, for the introduction. My name is Niels Steinbrecher. I'm at Scilab. And yeah, we had the chance to actually be challenged by Porsche to have that task, right? To take in their batteries and produce material which can go back to a battery cell. So the goal was really to first produce the first EV with a fully recycled battery with the right quality. So for us, the main quality is our material from our refining accepted at the cell producer level, right? And then obviously our challenge as a company is scaling a small pilot, right? We're a young company from 22. We develop a pilot line in 23 to really scale that to production level. So honestly saying, probably most of Scilab has been working on that project to actually get this battery material produced. Because the first and the second time, or a few times, we were sharing the analysis and the results with the supply chain of Porsche. And they said, sorry, Silip, this is not good enough. So we had to redo it. At the time was running. So it was really quite a challenge to finally produce enough material from the small pilot line to be able to be enough for a battery. But long story short, we were really able to close that gap of quality and were accepted by the supplier of Porsche to have good enough material to be allowed in their cell production. So that was for us a big step to really prove that the full concept towards a battery-grade material is working, right? And the main product we have produced is lithium carbonate, again from NMC cells from Porsche. Maybe showing a little bit what is behind this process and how we do it and what is the core of Silip. So obviously, as Jonathan already mentioned at the beginning, you get the feedstock, you get the batteries, you do the dismantling, we also discharge the batteries. Then you get to a mechanical processing where you take the battery pretty much apart and come to a powder which includes the anode and cathode material called black mass. And in our process, because it's a optimized lithium graphite recovery process on the water-based, we actually have a thermal pretreatment which mainly helps to two things: to get rid of the electrolytes, but also really helping the lithium to be receptive of our water-based process. So what you see here on the top is the NMC process, and when again we continue, we bring that material further to MHP, and MHP is a product which contains the nickel, the cobalt, and the manganese. In the future, we will also have an LFP hydromet, and that's probably a unique thing because a lot of people ask, what do you do with LFP in the market? So we not only do our core NMC process, but we also do NMC, but we also do LFP. Yeah, so we are quite a big company now. Well, we have been, as I said, founded in 22. We are over 100 people, pilot line in 23. We have been successfully collecting funding for this project, over 60 million in equity and over 90 million in public grants. We have now bought a big site, which I'll show on the next slide. And why we have this water-based process, you might ask. This is really a process designed for Europe to be efficient with low OPEX and sustainable as possible for the European environment, right? That means European regulation, European workforce, and all the other costs, including which have waste streams in running a recycling plant. So in our view, and we have external parties verifying that, we are 28% less capex than any other process in Europe. We obviously have our IP, we have ISO certification, and we are ready for the market of battery recycling. And the last slide really to highlight, you see now the new plant we are building. This plant can actually eat 140,000 EVs, if you want to say. That's kind of 20,000 ton black mass, about 10,000 ton NMC black mass, 10,000 ton LFP black mass. It's strategically located in the chem park in Dormagen, which is an ex-Bayer site, which is very important for us because we are a young company and having a chem park makes a lot of sense for us. Again, we are cell agnostic, which not many are, which LFP and NMC. And again, also on the CO2 side, we are very successful. So thank you for listening. And with that, I give back to Jonathan. Danke.
Great. Thank you very much, Niels. So then, that was a pilot project. But a pilot project, of course, is a certain project on its own. But we want to put those ideas and also the results we had in the pilot project into a serial process. And therefore, I'm really happy to announce that we achieved one further milestone, because now we have a cooperation contract with Silip to recycle our end-of-life batteries from our Porsche centers and also benefit from the material which are produced and recycled from those batteries. So we have introduced a material account, and therefore we can feed this material account with our end-of-life batteries and make Porsche more resource resilient. That is one first milestone achieved in our overall idea to have a value creation network for our batteries. And what is a value creation network for our batteries? We just have a short illustration here on the right-hand side of the slide. The idea is that the things I just mentioned for the market Germany, we also want to bring into different markets across Europe. So we want to feed those batteries from the Porsche Center Paris, for example, to our recycling partners, to Scilab, to partners where we can assure that they can deliver the quality of recycling content we need for our future battery generations. To make sure that we can deliver a battery with the same performance, the same quality attributes as our customers are already known to, but in a more sustainable way, and for Porsche in a way where we can increase our resource resilience and even have a profit out of this because it's a positive business case. So, how do we achieve this long run goal to have an overarching network across Europe to steer all those batteries within a network to make sure that those batteries come to the right partners which can deliver the quality we need? And in this situation, Iron Road comes into place because they help us to scale this network and to enable us to make this network happen. And there I want to hand over to Iron Road and Manfred.
Thank you, Jonathan. So my name is Manfred. I'm the co-founder and general manager for Europe at Iron Road. So as you have seen before, there's a huge network that Porsche plans for their ambition in the circular economy. And every really good working network needs someone who orchestrates this. And this is exactly the role of Iron Road. So what we do, we want to prevent the current chaos that is happening so that information is spread across Excel sheets, emails, phone calls, whatever. And nobody has really the transparency where a battery is on its way to Scilab. And also where another one needs to be picked up. So at the end, Jonathan at Porsche doesn't have any transparency and goes into troubles when it comes to compliance of proving what happened with batteries, where they are at the moment. So this is where we support, and how do we do that? So we have built up a platform, a multi-tenant platform that connects everyone at the OEM side, from sustainability, strategy, the R&D in Weissach, the service centers, of course, with all their employees there, and production as well, the local importers like Porsche Germany, with all the relevant parties on the other side to pick up the batteries from a logistics provider at the service center, bring it to recyclers like Scilab, or even integrate further companies for a second life, for reuse, and what else is coming in the future. This is exactly what Iron Road with its platform Tracetrack was built for, and this is the purpose to support Jonathan and Porsche with their ambition. But it's not just for batteries. This is how we started. Our vision is to provide this to every component and every kind of material, and so to every company out there who needs to recycle some components and materials. We are live since a couple of days now at 6 Porsche dealerships in the first pilot phase. So we want to have first hand feedback from the Porsche dealers. We want to further extend our product until end of the year before we roll it out and then automate the workflows as best as possible, and then hopefully to scale to not just other regions and other companies, but also to other components and materials. And if you're curious to see how it works and what are the benefits, I'm happy to give you a demo at my booth. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, and also come to our booth. See you there. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, thank you. And now let's continue with the mobility cluster. It's our last cluster, and we are gonna welcome Hav and Ying to the stage. So please, if you're over here, okay, perfect. Then the stage is yours.
Yeah, hello together. My name is Andreas from Hoof. And I would like to introduce our proof of concept with e-ink together with my friend Pete. First of all, why driving a car? First of all, needs you to be aware how to open the car. When you look at that car, who knows how to open it? Everyone knew, because it was really intuitive. It was a handle to grab, it was a button to push, and it was a cylinder to put a key in. That was intuitive, easy to use, and the people loved it. What about now? What about today? Flush door handles, they are completely cleanless and seamless integrated into a door. And sometimes the people stand in front of the door and they don't know how to open it. And sometimes it's not only really a handle, it's a kind of wing that opens the door in the future. And that's why you need user guidance. You need to establish something that explains the functions, the hidden functions, for example, of a door handle to the people, that innovations still are intuitive. And we did that together with e-ink, with the color-changing door handle. And how we did it, Pete is now going to introduce.
Yep, thank you. So my name's Pete from e-ink. So if you don't know us, we do e-paper displays. Those are the displays that you have like in an Amazon Kindle, or if you go to the grocery store like Lidl or Aldi, you see these shelf labels, and that's our technology. When we look at a product and an application, we start with the technology. So we actually use, I don't know if you can see that, cyan, yellow, magenta, and white particles like a paint. So we move the colors in a field from the front to the back, and that's what gives us the color. And so the beauty of e-ink is, somebody broke my electrode earlier, that after we switch it and there's no power, you can see it holds color. The other nice thing is the more sun you put on it, the easier it is to see. So you can imagine for the exterior of a vehicle, you want to be able to easily read it. So for 30 years, we've been doing a very stiff PET and ITO. So the innovation here is we've redesigned the stack. So we actually have taken all those films and adhesives, and we can actually do a stretchable. So this is like the latest, greatest e-ink foil. So we have a technology and a conformable platform, and then we wrapped it around the door handle. So you can see you could actually still get all of the features there and still have this 3D object. You could put graphics and logos, so if you're coming up to the car, you can see where the NFC should go, or say like your battery charge is not good, maybe it turns yellow, or if you left the door open, it could change. So it's really about contextual color change without adding power and light onto the surface. So we're really looking at seeing how we can do color change in a digital way that's still very natural to the designers. I think next slide. Yeah. Oh, wait, is that going to run? Is that running or not running? Yeah. So in our booth, we have one that's video. But the idea is that we're going from kind of a 2D surface to actually 3D surfaces. So I can wrap around multiple products. From automotive, right, we run from -25 to 65 C in operation, -50 to 120 C for storage. And like I said, after you switch it, so I switched this and it's really warm today. And if I switch it today to green and I come back 3 days later and it's -10, it'll keep that color until you want to switch it again. So you don't always have to have lights and bells and whistles to actually evoke some emotion and some intuition to the user experience. And I think that's it. So if you need more information, this is his AI-generated image, and this is my AI-generated image. But I'm in the Netherlands, so if you're in driving distance or a short train, I'm available anywhere. And Hoof is obviously in Germany, so if you need any more information, you can contact us. We'll be happy to talk to you.
Yeah,
any questions? You need to ask questions. Questions? All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that 5 minutes?
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Really, really cool project. So we move forward, and this time is the time for talk and the voice. So please welcome to the stage.
Hi everyone, I'm Ozan. I'm the co-founder and CTO at Voice. So Diag Voice is an AI-powered mental fitness and emotional state analysis for wellness applications in cabin. I think yeah, okay. Sorry for that. So we know that the 25% of the adults are facing some mental challenges. Most of them are not tracked at all. And the ones that are monitored in episodic manners. On the other hand, we know that the cabin is really advantageous for providing an isolated space for voice analysis and mental fitness tracking. And besides, we have on average 60 minutes of our day spent in the cabin. So that gives us the advantageous state to have the mental monitoring in our cabins. For this approach, we started a collaboration with Talk and have our product in live to have a new approach to redefining mobility using voice analysis in cabin solutions. So what we are doing in Talk actually starts with an AI agent that is communicating with you, starting a daily conversation actually, talking about how you are, the activities you're allocated with. So that communication is a natural one, while in the background, we are analyzing that speech of only 15 seconds and giving a wellness score is actually deep in analysis. We are providing 6 dimensions, including emotional state, mental fitness, ADHD, stress level, fatigue level, and breathing wellness. So that algorithm is clinically validated. We collected over 5,000 samples and processed that data with over 200 acoustic features. And our accuracy that was accomplished was 87%. So the accuracy is really high compared to the literature studies. And that gives us the analysis for mental wellness and emotional state where we can step one more step. So with that analysis, not only we are providing a score, but we also are providing multimedia appliances like the music and the ambience or additional exercises like breathing exercises that can improve your mood or sustain your energy level. So that provides some value to the end user. So for binding that, actually, we know that the music really has parameters that can be selected to improve your mood, or the ambience is effective in sustaining your energy or positive mental state. So we are mapping actually the scores that we have obtained using our algorithm to those parameters that we are able to select the music and select the ambience that can enhance the user's wellness. Of course, we are also providing some breathing exercises or content that can be helpful for improving the wellness state. So for the time being, we have deployed our algorithm that is live in Talk's vehicles. Actually, you can also try them in the Talk vehicle in the Expo. And as a roadmap that we are planning in the second half of this year, we are aiming to exploit that solution with Talk globally. And of course, we have ongoing R&D. With voice analysis, we are not only having the mental state, but also targeting to detect the alcohol level, the ADHD in clinical level, and depression in clinical level that can give some insights about health status of our users. So if you would like to learn more, you're welcome to stop at our booth, and we would love to talk more. And you can try the experience in Talk vehicles. Thank you for listening.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So now the next project is again with Talk, and it will be with David. So please welcome to the stage. Here. Perfect. I need to move the slides manually because there was an update.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me know and I will move it.
How can you? Okay. Let me see the slides. Welcome everybody. I am Muhammed Sebul Beratoğlu from Divit Technology. I am also an academician at Istanbul Technical University. Nowadays, the cars are getting quite well to seeing the outside the world. And they can see the road, the signs on the road, or the pedestrian around. And some even can tell you if the driver get distracted. But they are still losing one thing, the vital parameters, the health of the driver. It is an important thing, but still today, the vehicles are blind to see the health of the driver. So together we talk, quick minutes. Okay. Let me tell you about the Divit technology. Divit is the first spin-off company of the Istanbul Technical University. We developed the first license plate recognition systems, and more than 20 years we just focus on one thing: to teach the camera see the around the world. We built our own AI cameras and we put our algorithms inside the smart cameras. Today, more than 2,000 cameras are already active in the cities. They are used for red light enforcement, speed enforcement, even on the drones. They try to catch vehicles and all around the thing. Today, to apply our technology, we need actually a stable camera and the processing power. And thankfully, Talk give all this ability to us. It has not only have one camera, it has two cameras inside it and enough processing power. So together with Talk, we use this ability to try to understand the health of the driver. Okay. Yes. The problem is actually we spend a lot of time inside the car, but the car, the most important thing is the driver inside the car, but you cannot, the car are still invisible to health of the driver. The solution, you may wear some extra hardware, some wearable devices, but this is not easy for driver, and it means extra hardware cost for the car makers. Our solution, together with Talk, is the True face scans. We just take the video of the driver for 30 seconds, and after that, we measure the very tiny signals on the face of the driver, and based on that signals, we can measure the heart rate, HRV, this is heart rate variability, and the stress index. Okay, we can go to next. Yes, for doing this technology, we don't need any other hardware. The camera already inside the vehicle. Without any hardware, we can easily measure your vital parameters. Okay, next. And once we measure your heart rate and stress, and this give us an enormous other availability. After we measure, you can see that we can analyze your face, scanning your face, and once we collect all this data from the cabinet, we use data. For example, you can tell the driver that your heart rate there is some problem in your heart rate, or we can catch the driver mood and play some music and change the environment. You can test this technology by yourself. Here is our Talk there. It's the app installed in that Talk. You can test by yourself the technology. And if you have other questions, I am happy to talk about, answer the questions. Thank you for listening.
Sorry for the slides. I don't know what was happening. Next project is Boss with Rainbow Media. So please welcome to the stage.
Hello everyone, good evening. So I'm Sridhar from Bosch, and along with my friend Harshit, I'd like to introduce our gaming solution. So as a child, I remember numerous journeys in the rear seat of my old hatchback which my father had, where I had no entertainment really. It was really a boring journey, and at that time I remember the only entertainment we had was the digital stereo. Fast forward to today, the car has actually evolved into a digital cockpit. Yeah, it is a digital connected space, but still, one of the most entertaining, engaging feature, gaming, is not found its way into the car. So this gave us an opportunity to understand why is this happening, what can we do about it. So we looked into why gaming is not so prevalent in the car right now, and we found certain factors. One of it, for example, is the hardware capability. Now, the in-vehicle infotainment systems, they're not as powerful as our phones, right? And they also have to be durable for a long period of time, right? So to play games in the car really required high compute, which was not financially making sense for the car OEMs, right? If you fast forward, we also looked into user experience constraints. How do you really play game inside the car in a manner where the user can consume it safely and also consume it in the right context? Can he enjoy the game inside the car? We also saw that over a period of time, safety is always a critical parameter inside the car. And what happens when we allow games inside the car? What is the consequence of it? Is it really safe to have games inside the car? And then, of course, we had other constraints in terms of vehicle parameters, in terms of network connectivity. So there are a lot of open questions with games, having games into the car. We thought, let's find a solution to it. And with that, together with our partner, we have developed a solution called Gaming on Wheels, which is a solution which allows you to play games, various categories of games inside the car. From a very hyper casual gaming to a real serious gamer, we have game for every gamer. Now, what we have decided is to make it as a platform so that if you have games which you own, for example, over Steam, and you can actually play those games inside the car. This way, the games never become old because you know the typical game cycle is probably, let's say, 3 years to 5 years. After that, the game fades away, and the car is still for a longer duration. So we've ensured that you can have constant game updates in the car. We've also thought further, how do we make it even better? So when we analyzed the game ecosystem and the car, we found the car has all the elements to make a perfect gaming console. Yeah, you have a steering, you have pedals, you have the right seats, the right ambience. Now, why not change the car into a gaming console, right? And that's our vision with which we started. One of the important challenges here in this journey was to understand how can we get high quality, high graphics rich games into our ecosystem, right? How do you play the real good games, so to say, and how do you keep ourselves updated? With some searching, we found cloud gaming would be a perfect choice for us. So we thought, let's integrate cloud gaming into our ecosystem. With that, with the support from OpenBosch, we tried to scout for the right partners. And I have with me Harshit, a very serious gamer I know, who will try to talk about how we entered this space and how we now support cloud gaming inside the car. Over to you, Harshit.
Thank you, Sridhar. So basically, we are very grateful for, by introducing by Bosch. And right now, we have an experience of more than 5 to 6 years in cloud gaming. And there was a very interesting challenge which Bosch has given us. So if you'll see, 3 major challenges what we have seen while working in the cloud gaming space. And from cloud gaming, the game should be in the normal mobility cars. That was something which is very challenging. You can see AAA game into play into our vehicles, which is which we have in hardware limits. And then second, obviously, user are very impatient when they are in car. And at the same time, network is something which is not stable in cars, in most of the cars, because it's it's movable. And then that's how we started approaching it, and we have introduced few of the technologies here where we have cloud, we have managed adaptive bit rate, which is the 5 Mbps speed itself will manage each and everything on the cloud. We have optimized GPU architecture, what we have built here. And then obviously our enhanced SDK has implemented, which all of this overall approach, we have reduced an experience of 30 seconds to launch the game. From that to real-time ABR, and obviously at the same time, quality of service at 5 Mbps is our approach what we have bring in. Stable in real-world driving experience, at the same time at production level. So that's how we have built it so far. Thank you.
Thanks, Harshit. So that's where we are today. And we want to give a glimpse of where we want to really reach, right? So the car has a lot of sensors, a lot of connections, a lot of actuators, and we are seeing how would it change into a real gaming console. For example, you're driving on your video game and you're accelerating, and the ambient light in the car changes. And as you decelerate, then again the ambient light changes. So there are a lot of cool features we can develop over this ecosystem, and we are trying to now see how to integrate this sensors and actuators into the game ecosystem. Right? So we are also exploring how do you make the car as the hero car or the hero element in the game. For example, if you have a game as a driving game, how do you bring your particular OEM car into the game, that it becomes the hero car? So we are trying to do a lot of hyper personalization in this area, so that the brand could have a lot of PR value on it, and there is a customer image which can be built over this gaming ecosystem. We're also looking at subscription-based services around this setup. How do we add value add by gaming, by adding new games, by adding new features in the games, and this could be a model to open up subscription within the car, because the users are already used to do this outside the car in your mobile, and we are trying to see if we can translate that ecosystem back into the car. So if you found the presentation so far interesting, if you need further questions, we are out there, or you can visit us in our booth, and we'll be happy to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So now we are moving to the last two projects, both of them with ST Microelectronics. The first one will be with vehicle. So please welcome to the stage. Okay, perfect.
One for them.
And the pointer.
Okay. So Marco from ST, thank you for. We are very excited to make this collaboration with Vehicle, and we will explain here. Daniel will explain how they adapted this on ST M32 chips.
So hello everybody, so I'm Daniel, I'm co-founder of Vehicle, a startup based in Berlin. First of all, thanks a lot for Marco and ST sponsoring us, right? So at Vehicle, we deeply believe that in the future, AI will be writing most of the code that normally humans do, right? And especially for embedded system, we are trying to develop a platform where this will happen. So why are we doing that, right? I mean, when developing for embedded system, there is just an enormous amount of problems, right? But I mean, like, the fundamental one is that for doing anything at this point in time, you need a board, you need hardware often, right? So no matter how fancy is your workflow, you will always be as fast as your physical test can actually handle. So if you have one board and this needs to be shared by 10 people, you just do one person job, right? And when we started the company, we thought it was an operating system problem. It was a software problem, right? So we developed actually an embedded operating system, which we actually shipped on different vehicles. But while working on that, we realized it's really just a fundamental workflow problem, right? How do people develop, test, and validate software in automotive cannot be solved by just a new operating system, right? And while working on this, there was, you're probably aware, like the AI craziness, right? So in the meantime, it is clear, even if it's not now, within a few years, AI will write 90% of the code that humans now do. And, but what is important, it's very imperative to understand, if you ask Claude to write a website without tools, it will just write garbage, right? But the fact that it's able to test that website, validate that website, take a screenshot of that website, this is what actually makes the difference from a mock-up that doesn't work and actually a production website, right? And so our learning was, okay, I mean, we worked 4 years in automotive, right? We have an operating system. We know how actually stuff work. And so we adapted fundamentally what we were doing to create a platform to enable AI agents to do that, right? And so we developed Vehicle Chip Lab, right? Which is fundamentally a cloud platform that gives agents the tools for being able to develop firmware and test that, right? And how does it work? It's relatively simple. It's a cloud platform, as I said, but it's very not invasive. It's just an MCP that you add to your local coding tools or your local cursor or your local workflows, right? Also as a normal tool. So you don't need to change anything of your workflow, right? But it fundamentally provides 3 major functionalities, right? One is be able to actually build and test your firmware in the clouds. So you don't need any hardware board connected, at least for 90% of your work, right? It's able to run simulation. So you can later simply say, test these drone firmware against like these 5 hours of video stream that we generated via NVIDIA or whatever. And what's more important, and this can be hosted within the company itself, so we don't get access to the IP, is able to learn over time common bugs, recurring patterns, what is working, what is not working, and therefore giving developers as much information as possible on what you need to do on that chip to make it work, right? Going a little bit deeper on the feature, I mean, these are 3 examples, right? But you can imagine you're building a motor controller on STM32, right? As a first step, you don't even need to test it, right? You can query your platform, which would actually look at all what you did and simply, given specification, internal documentation, knowledge of what is working and not, would be able to already tell you stuff is not working properly, right? And then your local agent can actually improve. Following that, right, like you can overnight run 10 million tests. I mean, it's a matter of budget versus time. You want it faster, you just run it faster, right? So you are developing a driver, just let it iterate overnight. Your local agent will run 10,000 tests every time against vehicle, and over time will this convert to actually a good implementation, if not a mock, a prototype, or whatever. And finally, this is very important, is the knowledge base, right? The compounding intelligence. Because we run firmware on virtual chips, we are actually able over time to learn what actually works, what doesn't work, what are the specs, what is the coding pattern, right? And because of that, we are fundamentally able to tell users this code will not work in the way you intended, or we predict there will be a buffer overflow here because we experienced this into 50 overruns, right? Or because we see that as a company pattern of your current firm, right? And this is very important because then it means like the more code you write within your company or within as a group of people, the more the system will become smarter and the faster you will be able to ship feature, right? Which is a must in nowadays society, otherwise you're out of business. Yeah, I mean, our platform is live, is free, right? It's a pay-per-use model or an enterprise model. I mean, we have a booth together with ST in the hall there. Again, it's a productivity tool to facilitate the development of embedded software. And yeah, that's it, I guess.
Thank you. Perfect, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's move to the last project. AutoCore. ST Microelectronics as well with AutoCore. So, yeah, perfect.
Again, from ST, we are very excited and to partner with AutoCore. We showcase the use case audio over Ethernet that in automotive, it's a major one in the embedded world. And here, Yang will explain. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I realize I'm the last one, so standing between you and drinks, so I'll keep this short. AutoCore is a startup founded back in 2018. We're 8 years old now, not exactly a small startup. We're very excited and thankful for the sponsorship from ST. AutoCore has developed a full-stack SDV solution, we have been supplying to some of the most highest volume supply, including Volkswagen, BYD, etc. From 2022 SOP. So today we're sharing the latest collaboration with STMicro based on the Stellar, very powerful, capable Stellar MCU series of the zonal computing solution to support the whole vehicle high fidelity audio. So before that, I want to give you a glimpse in terms of what Autoco's main product portfolio looks like. So as we all know, the EE architecture of the vehicle has evolved from discrete to domain-centric. Right now, mostly move on to the next generation of a centralized zonal computing architecture. So what Autoco's main product focus on delivering the full stack of CCU HPC stack, as well as the full stack of zonal computing solution. And this is where we interact with MCU, Stellar MCU from STMicro. So the solution we're showing you today is a distributed amplifier over automotive Ethernet. So on the left is what we typically see, right, in the vehicle. We are seeing a bunch of analog routing with a complex, a bunch of A to B with a complex analog routing, which is very heavy, costly. And it's subject to a lot of interference in the EMC issue. What actually we're seeing here is in the latest EE architecture, we already have very much bandwidth and powerful the main bus, which is the Ethernet, in the vehicle. Why don't we take a full advantage of it? That's what this solution is showing you, how we can deliver in higher fidelity audio solution based on the Ethernet main bus. This is what the eventual solution looks like. We will have a central computing unit where it's handling the Ethernet switch, multiple zonal controller, what you see in the vehicle. Delivering on top of Stellar MCUs, we are able to achieve very high performance, which I will show you quantitative measurement in the next slides. So ST obviously based on providing the Stellar MCUs and also lower level drivers for the audio, based on a very powerful chip. And Autoco will supply the full TSN stack and a software architecture integrating across the whole vehicle. So this is something which we are already designing multiple OEMs. So this is it's kind of a data point you will be interested in. I think the $30 has been very conservative because in some of the vehicles designing, we're looking at it between $70 to $100. BOM cost reduction directly with, without any other subcomponents included. So this is based on a 32 speaker system. So it's a very complex, not one of those very simple ones. So we are looking at a 40% reduction based on the harness weight alone. Okay, we are able to achieve a multi-speaker phase deviation less than 10 microseconds. So what that means is that you will able to achieve the highest level of audio fidelity what you currently seeing in the car, in the most complex speaker organization. The clock synchronization accuracy is less than 1 microsecond. Typically, we're measuring that in terms of 200 nanoseconds. Okay. So so that's something which, as we discussed, a lot of people think is quite challenging to do. In non-deterministic bus, such like Ethernet, we're showing you today, this is not only impossible, this is a production ready today. That is all. So thank you very much. If you are interested, please contact either ST or Autoco myself. Thank you very much. Yep, thank you. Or to the booth. Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, this was all for this anniversary stage, that it was a bit special. Our 10th anniversary stage, 10 years making innovation, and we are really looking forward to make another decade of innovation with our partners and our startups.
Yeah, we got one more announcement to make. So in 10 minutes on the main stage, we will have the closing of the entire day. So I would suggest everybody, let's wrap up all the conversation and whatever is going on here and let's move all together to the main stage for the final remarks and the closing of these days. Then there will be networking, there will be opportunity to connect, but for now, see you all on the main stage, and thank you for being with us today.